Cemeteries have always fascinated me. So much history all in one spot. Now, some people find my interests morbid. Oh, and my love of cemeteries, they think that's strange too. But I don't think so. In C.A. Rasmussen's 1935 book entitled The History of Goodhue County, he writes,
"Interest in cemeteries need not necessarily spring from any morbid sentiment. Rather, should it awaken in us a new vision of eternal life. The frail, uncertain years of human endeavor run into the grave not as finality, but as the unfolding of a larger life, entrance into which will cause us to wonder why we harbored such an inordinate love of mortality."
Now I like the sound of that.
The monuments and memorials, both strange and historic, found within Burnside Cemetery call us to remember Red Wing and Burnside Township's forefathers and mothers and point to their eternal place in our area's history.
Now come on! Let's have a look at some of the gravely cool tombstones and landmarks present in Burnside Cemetery.
Early settlers formed the community in late 1853 or 1854, and originally referred to the area as Spring Creek. In 1858, the town was renamed Union, but was changed the next year to Milton.
In 1862, the area's name was changed to Burnside, after Civil War hero Ambrose E. Burnside. And wow!
Look at the facial hair on this fellow. From his mutton chop style actually comes the term sideburns. The phrase entered our common vernacular because of the soldier's popularity.
Should I grow some?
As Burnside Township grew, town leaders, including Charles Spates, became cognizant of the need for a cemetery. Spates and his wife gifted 3 acres of their land for use as burial grounds around the year 1855. Designating this land as the oldest cemetery in Goodhue County. Folks may have already used this area as a burial spot, as records showed the burial in 1840. The next oldest burials were logged in 1855.
Donors first named the cemetery Shiloh Cemetery, presumably after the words used in the Christian Bible denoting the Messiah and peace.
Sometime down the line, the name was changed to Salem Cemetery. Although the cemetery has been colloquially referred to as simply Burnside for many years, the name officially changed to Burnside Cemetery after the city of Red Wing annexed Burnside Township in June of 1971. Just past the gate's entrance stands a stone welcoming all to the cemetery, dedicated by John and Amanda C. Swanson. It reads, "Beneath a rugged hillside is God's acre, veiled by eternal verdure, crowned with a garland of spruce, where our dearly beloved ones are gathered in a beautiful solemn repose, a loving tribute to Salem Cemetery and Burnside." Down the road you will find a tall monolith shooting into the clouds. This structure was erected by James J. Bryan III in 1910. Look here! Who knew Cinderella was buried in Burnside Cemetery, and that her last name was Grandel?
Years ago in Red Wing, there used to be an Allen bakery, and this is the Allen family burial plot.
In the center of the plot stands a very unique and cool tree-carved grave, declaring the resting place for Joshua and Fidelia Allen. 11 additional Allen graves lie in this peaceful spot. The new section plot is full of modern graves and a couple strange ones. Multiple World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam veterans are buried in this area. The high-flying flag in the cemetery is there to honor all veterans. Ever wonder if Red Wing had a pet cemetery? We don't, but it seems that didn't stop somebody. In the new section of the cemetery, a full burial plot is marked with not a gravestone, but a catstone? Burnside Cemetery includes 1 columbarium. The vast majority of the spaces remain open, but this humorous tribute steals the show. I'd sure like a frog on my grave. Or maybe a pumpkin. Or Batman?
What makes a cemetery great?
Is it the history of the land? Is it the ornamentation of the graves and pastoral landscaping? Or is it the people who lie 6 feet under beneath the ground? I don't know, but what I do know is that Burnside Cemetery includes triumphs in all 3 of those distinctions.
So the next time you're cruising into town down Highway 61, remember the history, proprietors, and famous monuments of Burnside Cemetery.